Hey everyone, it's me, Vinny, back again with some news in politics. House Democrats in the House of Representatives are going to be voting to whether or not Washington, D.C. will become the 51st state in the Union. To me, I'm all for this. I believe Washington, D.C. deserves to be our 51st state in the United States. Now, you might ask yourself, why Washington, D.C.? What about Washington, D.C. is so important that you must make it the 51st state? Well, it doesn't matter if they're the 51st or 52nd, it doesn't really matter. Puerto Rico could be the 51st, but D.C. should become a state. D.C. is not a state. It's not part of Maryland, it's not part of Virginia, it's its own little area. Within between the two states, they have a mayor, but they don't have a governor. They have a higher population than of Vermont and Wyoming, but yet they don't have a say in elections. Yeah, they had the presidential election, and even though they do have a member of the House, that person in the House is basically just kind of there for the sake of being there. That person has no power. Not only that, DC is also a historically more minority and African American area in our country. And their votes are being suppressed. They don't have the same privileges from states that have a lower population. And the US is also the only developed country in the world where their capital is not part of a county, a state, a province, what have you. Ottawa is in Ontario. London is in their own county. Mexico City is part of their own state. Everywhere across the entire world, except for the US, the people in the nation's capital don't have a say. They have less of a say than other people. Even though they are the capital of the country, their voice means less or just as much as a panda in the zoo or the bird flying over the seagulls. That seagull flying in the air has just as much power and as much rights compared to the rest of the country as people in DC. And Republicans, I'm not trying to single out all Republicans because there's some Democrats too, but there's a lot of people that are worried, oh my God, if you get DC, that means there'll be one or even two more Democratic seats. Yeah, okay, so who cares? Does it matter if they're left or right or blue or red? Don't play party politics with people's lives, guys. Don't do that, because you're going to make yourselves even look worse than you already are. When Trump ordered armed military guards to order them to get rid of peaceful protesters with rubber bullets and tear gas. Peaceful protesters. Their government's very weak compared to the rest of the developed states. Because really the entire government, dictates how they should be run, because a lot of them even treat them like children. Because, they're not ready for it. They can't handle it. Excuse me? Excuse me? These people can't handle it? Well, that's because you don't put them in that position. That's because you treat them less than another part of the country. Because, you don't have a governor. We don't need it. Yeah, we do. DC deserves to have its own laws. Everywhere else, every other state in the entire union makes their own rights, but DC is dictated mostly entirely by the US government, and they don't even represent them. There's a big issue here in the country. This is also another systematic racial issue. Yeah, so what that the Libertarian has more votes than the Republican? Who cares? Who cares? They're a person. They deserve to have a vote. They're American. So what if they don't vote for you? Okay. Don't attack them. Don't suppress them because they don't like your policies as much as someone else, maybe that's on you. Maybe it's on you. You don't have to represent everyone. That's okay. There's some Republicans in D.C. We're going to wipe their votes out too because the majority. D.C. could also vote red in an election too, Dinah Calvin, well, of course they will. Since they can't pass the Senate and Trump will veto if it did. If the Dems take the both houses next year, they'll have too many president. That is correct. We have a lot of issues in our country. And the Republicans, I'm not trying to make this a Republican issue, but a lot of the Republicans in Congress, they care about their own party. They don't care about the people. The base, the people in the country, regardless of what it is, whether it's politics, entertainment, sports, what have you, the fans, the base, the people care more about these issues than the ones in charge, because a lot of them care about getting reelected, holding that power, and false promises. Yeah, I understand politics is survival, but guess what? My generation knows that, and they want to make a change. We deserve the people in D.C. I'm not from D.C. I'm from Long Island. But New York, I have a choice. I have a choice to say what happens. Meanwhile, D.C., an area with more people than Vermont and Wyoming. Vermont and Wyoming. Those people in Vermont and Wyoming have more of a say in their country than the people in the nation's capital. Do you know how strange that is, that the people in the country's capital have less rights than people in lesser states? Why? Well, why is that? They can't even vote for themselves. So I'm sorry that DC has more people than Vermont and Wyoming. That doesn't mean you should punish them. You shouldn't punish them for that. Don't play with people's lives because of policies. Again, that's on you. It's on you. Don't force them into bankruptcy because, oh, they didn't vote for me. Let's punish them. No. Look yourself in the mirror, guys. Look yourself in the mirror. Understand what they're going through. And as for, I know I've heard some people say, will it mess up the flag? No. I've seen 51-star flags. Barely even noticed the difference. Y'all change the songs. Stuff's changed all the time. The ampersand was once a letter of the alphabet. They changed that. They can change the flag too. The Constitution changes. Everyone has their own interpretation of what it means. It was okay that you could fire someone because they're gay or lesbian. But now, people waked up. They noticed. Oh, yeah. Human decency. What about that? Human decency. Not a hard tax to pay. Unless you're, a third of the Supreme Court who thinks it's okay to fire someone because they're gay. Shame on you. Shame on you on thinking that someone's less than based on their sexuality, which they didn't even choose in life. Is it constitutional? No, it's not a constitutional right. It's a human right. People should not fire someone because of something that they cannot control. People can't control the color of their own skin. People can't control their own gender or sexuality. People can't control this stuff. Why are you punishing them for something? Why are you punishing them for something that they can't control? They can control their house life. The Raiders said, no, they didn't wake up. It's just LGBT news laws, Adam. Yes, some did wake up. But guess what? All those years of oppression, that came to bite you. That came to bite you big time. And now those people are making the laws. Because they've had it with many of these people that decide to treat someone else less than because they want to get elected, because they care about the power than others. It's a big issue. Doesn't matter where it is. Why should I look for Adams? I love Adam Silver. But why should the commissioner of the NBA be a higher platform for leadership Sorry, there's some internet issues. But again, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you going to treat these people? Lol, Adam Silver, slipper from the Raiders. Yeah, Adam Silver's a great commissioner. He is a leader. He's a leader amongst men. Why do you think the NBA is the fastest growing of the 4 major sports? Because the owners and the players get along. They put all differences aside, and they care about the people. They care about the fans. They care about the individuals. They know that the base cares, then a lot of people in charge. Okay, let's have people in charge that care as much as the fan base. Let's care as much as the base itself. Let's care as much as the individuals. You don't have that in DC. You don't have that. They prefer playing party politics and advancing their own agendas than doing what's good for the human beings in this nation. And that's why people like my age, college students, younger, even older, are noticing this and seeing all the injustices in America. And we're going to vote people that feel this way out. I know I'm a sports person, but in this day and age, you have to be more than that. You have to vote with your own heart. You got to be for the people, not just yourself. You're putting a platform for others that they can't. You're trying to speak for yourself. You're trying to speak for yourself because others can't do that. And you have to voice hard. You need to show how you really feel. You need to ask them tough questions. You need to hound them. You need to show them physical evidence. You need to show that there's real passion. You got to really show there's really people that care. And you can't just say, "Oh, I'm scared of what would happen." No. As long as you do it right, people aren't going to care. They're going to love it. People in DC, members of the Redskins, the Wizards, the Capitals, the Nationals, the Mystics, DC United, the athletes that live there with their families, and the many other men and women of all shapes and sizes. You want them to have less of a voice than other people in the nation, despite living in the capital? You would think they'd have more, not less. But they're not even asking for more. They just want equality and not revenge. Our country is in a state of crisis. It only seems right. Sorry, there's internet issues. But it's only what's right for the good of the country. Give the people their chance to really have a voice after being suppressed for so long. We need an end to redlining. We need an end to gerrymandering. We need the people to truly have a voice because they know this country, they know these areas more than a lot of the people in power. Everyone needs to go out there and vote. Everyone in DC, go vote. You want to become a state. You deserve as much of a voice as everyone else. Thank you very much. And enjoy your day and vote June 6th.